Now, if you live in Florida or you're thinking about coming to Florida soon, watch this video. I'm about to go over the Florida Daily News Update. And the stories that I'm doing today, I got it from the tags. Like y'all tagging me and stuff. So y'all picked them. But let's get into it. All right, first up, I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't want to do this, okay? I really didn't. But the way that y'all been tagging me all week about this, I guess I gotta do it. So here we go. So, by now, okay, everybody and their grandmama know about this letter, okay? And the thing is that everybody know about the letter, but the people who wrote the letter, you know? They claiming they ain't even signed it. Now, they saying that, he didn't write this. I mean, it's typed. I guess that's fair. But everybody inside of the DOJ, they don't even want to look at this. Because they were doing like a report. And some of the reporters were trying to show people the letter. And they were like, nah, I don't want to see it. Why you don't want to see it? Just look at it. Nah, just go ahead and look at it. Now, seeing that this letter came out, a lot of people are, saying that it's possible that he didn't sign it. He's saying he didn't sign it, and a lot of those people that's around him, they're saying that he didn't sign it. But y'all know me, you know what I'm saying? I had did a little bit of digging on some stuff that's kind of interesting. So, he has multiple signatures, okay? The thing is that back in the day, with personal, notifications, personal letters, maybe sign some contracts or something personally, he would use this signature, right? For personal stuff. It's this signature. Now, we know that he has a different signature now, but the time frame that he changed that signature, that's what's interesting. Now, somewhere around 2014 or 2015, now mind you, he could have been changed it way before then, but us as the public, we started noticing it because the thing is that, remember them stimulus checks? Somewhere around like 2016, when he first came in, he gave everybody a little, this the signature that was on there, on the checks. So somewhere around that time frame is the first time that we actually seen it as the public. Now, the big uproar, about this whole thing is that, he didn't sign it. And the thing is that this don't even matter because this was found in Epstein's book. This is where they got this from. This letter and other people's letter. We all know this. But they just released another letter that we don't even care about this letter no more because we need to know what's going on with that letter. Now, just for social media purposes, I'm not going to read this letter. Y'all can pause this, read it, and do whatever you got to do. But look at this check. Look who, this is one of them fake checks. Like you win the lottery, they hold up the big check. Look who holding the check. Look who the check from. Look how much the check is worth. $22,500, all right? Read the letter. Look at the check. This her. She in the, and y'all know where they at. They at the golf course right now. Just read the letter, look at the check. Now, in the midst of all of this, with all of these letters and things coming out, people on both sides of the political party are upset about this. They even hanging up pictures inside of some of these like political offices. Like this picture, literally. They're bringing them to meetings. With the lady named Marjorie Taylor, she done hung one up. You know what I mean? She was a 100% ride or die for bruh. Not no more. All right, next up. I'm sure by now we've all heard the news about Charlie Kirk. And the thing is that even though a lot of people didn't, agree with his views, this is a really tragic situation. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he started this thing out, as being like this big debate guy, all right? But, his fan, base grew. And he actually, rode for Trump, you know what I'm saying? And actually got a lot of the young people to actually go out and vote for Trump. Best friends with Trump's son. So he's like family, with them. But his rallies, they get massive. Now, like I said, a lot of people didn't agree with a lot of his views, all right? He was more on the conservative side. And the thing is that, he said everything with his chest. He meant it to heart. But a lot of people didn't like that, so he had a lot of enemies. And the thing is that this whole setup right here, you never know when it's going to happen. But if it was going to happen, this was the perfect situation for it. Now, this event that Charlie was at was over in Utah, and he was invited there by the students. It was a student-funded event. But the area they had this at, like at the school, Where Charlie was a little bit lower than the rest of the elevation, from the surrounding areas, which made it like a perfect spot. But they say it's even deeper than that. Whoever did this, they scoped this out for like days prior. Because the way that it happened, it had to be like a perfect situation. Now, after this, all went down, the commotion and everything, they ended up arresting somebody. It was an older gentleman, about, 80 years old. But it wasn't him, so they ended up letting him go. But they got some, camera footage of somebody on top of a building kind of like running off. But this is the thing. In the middle of the night, they found the gun, the rifle that was used. They found it in the middle of the night. Now, real quick, y'all know me, you know what I'm saying? I be going down rabbit holes and stuff, but if you got somebody this popular and somebody that's hated just as much, now I know he got his, close security and stuff, but you ain't got nobody circling the perimeter at least 200 yards because that's where the shot came from. And then after it happened, you just arrest a random 80-year-old guy, and then you let him go, just scared the crap out of him. And then in the middle of the night, y'all found his gun. You don't think this person, this is a sniper. You don't think this person had the tactics, the professional tactics to get rid of that gun? Or did y'all just find some gun to make us think that y'all doing something? We gotta look into this. Now, like I said, all right, a lot of people didn't agree with bruh views, all right, because they were a little drastic. But the thing is that, man, this was a family man, all right? So, we don't wish this on nobody, you feel me? You don't wish this on nobody, no matter what your views are, no matter how you speak, no matter what you speak on. That's our First Amendment right, you know what I'm saying? To say whatever you want on any platform. And we all should live by that. It shouldn't matter what people say. It shouldn't come to this, you know what I mean? So I don't wish this on nobody, man. Just think about the family. Condolences. All right, next up, shout out to everybody who was tagging me in this, all right? I did a story on her a while back, but this is Mabel Butler. All right, she was one of the first. She was the first. Sorry. She was the first African-American woman to sit on the city council in Orlando. And she was one of the first people in Orange County, first black people in Orange County to do that whole thing. Trailblazer. But that's not it, all right? Because she has a ton of accomplishments. I can't go through them all, but if you've ever heard of Meals on Wheels, she actually was able to get that to come into the area to help feed the elderly and homeless people as well. But this past week, all right, Mabel ended up passing away, all right, at the age of 98. So shout out to Mabel. She left a great legacy. She was a trailblazer. I mean, I read the whole story on her, Great woman. Condolences. Also, another legend, okay? Another legend gone. This is John Demina. And if you don't know who John Demina is, I bet you know who Ron John Surf Shop is. I know you know what that is. He's the founder. Now, this past week, John ended up passing away. I believe he was 88, I think they said. But what he built, all right, the name Ron John, it's going to live on forever, all right? And most of you, we may know that the first one was down in Cocoa. A lot of surfers, they were paying homage to him, in his memory, doing some surf rides and stuff like that. But something about this. If you a Floridian, this means a lot. If you surf or not, because it's a time frame in a lot of our life when we go to the beach, something we just remember is just Ron John Surf Shop. You just go in there, even if you don't need nothing. Shout out to John. Now, like I said, there have been a ton of people online kind of like, talking about this whole thing, all right? Because this means something to, Floridians. But y'all know it's a lot of Cocoa Beach, Ron John Surf Shop, billboards. They bet not touch them, okay? They bet not touch them. Leave every one of them, all 6,450 of them. Leave it. Now look, I don't care what y'all gonna do to remember this. Like it, comment, share it, please share it. I don't know, but the more you know. Peace.